Hannah is worried she'll blow it and binge at a family gathering. Protection plan to the rescue.
Nothing I did was working. The more I tried, the more out of control my eating became. Then, I did something I hadn't tried before. I became a savvy detective and figured things out. If I can do it, so can you. Find out more at solveyouroutofcontroleating.com.
Welcome to Solve Your Out of Control Eating. I'm Victoria Todd, a child and adult psychoanalyst and an eating disorder specialist.
And I'm Michelle Holtzberger, a clinical social worker. But in the virtual world, we are savvy detectives
who solve real-life eating mysteries like today's.
And we're going to teach you how to become a savvy detective too. So here we go. Step into our virtual office for this brief therapy session. And then stick around afterwards. You'll hear our detective work and expert advice, including a protection plan for Hannah. Now, here she is.
I didn't want to come in today. I didn't want to have to talk about any of this.
I can see the sadness in your eyes, Hannah. I know it's hard. But can you tell me?
Well, I was doing so good. Was doing better. Probably still ate too much, but not like before. And I was figuring out what feelings were getting in the way. And then this happened.
What happened? Tell me, Hannah.
My dad's stupid birthday party. I was an anxious mess all week. Almost to the point of a panic attack. My hands were freezing cold. My heart was racing. I was just so afraid that I was going to blow it. And of course I did. I would lie in bed at night and try to figure out how I can attend the family dinner and not eat like a glutton. I'd go over and over it in my head. I decided to take healthy side dishes to eat with the pulled pork. An arugula salad, Brussels sprouts, a vegetable tray. And what did I eat? Cheesy potatoes, multiple pork sandwiches, and half a loaf of cornbread. Then there were the desserts, an entire table full. Dad doesn't like cake so much, so my mom made 2 pies and all the cookies. Ugh. I ate like a pig till I was totally stuffed.
Hannah, you're focusing so much on the food. I'm wondering what feelings were too much.
I don't think you understand how much I ate. And then I took home a doggy bag. I put it in the refrigerator and kept going back until I ate every last bite. Not just sandwiches, but more pie and cookies.
You want me to know how much you ate?
Yes.
How you totally blew it?
Yes.
I understand, but you still look troubled.
I am. It's your question. What feelings were too much? They were all too much. I wonder if it's the house, if it's just jam-packed with too many feelings. Feelings that make me eat like crazy. Too much happened there. Too many bad memories.
Tell me about the bad memories.
I was never abused or anything, but I sure was unhappy. My dad was always critical. He was never satisfied with my mom's cooking, cleaning, pretty much everything she did. And she was always trying to please him. Look, Tommy, I made your favorite apple pie with a crunchy top. And there was oatmeal raisin cookies that you'll love. And did you notice that I'm wearing the necklace you gave me? Isn't it beautiful? I just wanted to scream, stop! She was always trying to please him and always failing. So she would just start drinking wine around 4 and be asleep on the couch by 8. And then there was my younger sister, who everyone adored.
Everyone?
Everyone but me. She brought her boyfriend to the party, and they were gushing all over each other while I sat there without a date, as usual. Did I mention that she's skinny as a rail? Well, she is. And she has long, beautiful hair, blue eyes, 10 perfect nails. I used to sit on that couch with my mousy brown hair and brown eyes, watching her and my dad play Barbie dolls.
Left out?
Always.
Sounds like a very lonely existence.
Existence is the right word. An empty existence. My dad didn't pay attention to me, and my mom would usually drink. She was already slurring her words when my dad's birthday meal arrived. My sister and my dad were both glaring at her, but I totally understood.
Understood? Help me, Hannah.
She used wine like I use food.
For
For comfort, for distraction, for emotional rescue, and to forget the really sad stuff.
what about that, Hannah? The really sad stuff that you and your mom want to forget.
When my older sister overdosed in the upstairs bathroom, we never talk about that. We just eat, drink, and pretend to be merry, but we're not. I do love them, but why is it so hard to be with the family you love?
Now comes the fun part, the detective work. Let's see if we can figure out why Hannah got so upset. You know, poor Hannah, she was doing well and then she got totally derailed by her father's birthday party.
I know, but look at all the important information we learned from that party. As Hannah talked, I took notes to organize my thoughts, and I would encourage our detectives to do the same. Remember, you're listening for feelings, and Hannah supplied an abundance. But before we get to the feelings, let's talk about the family, the father.
Yeah, critical, emotionally unavailable to Hannah.
Well, the mother was emotionally unavailable too. She was focused on the dad and her wine. So who nurtured Hannah?
I didn't hear about anyone nurturing her.
Me neither. Then we have the younger sister.
Who kind of seemed like Princess Perfect.
Compared to her, Hannah felt so inferior.
And then at the end, we find out about the older sister who overdosed.
3 out of 5 of the family members turned to substances to deal with their unbearable feelings. That says a lot. And speaking of unbearable feelings, I wrote down the ones that Hannah mentioned. First of all, anxiety.
Yeah, anxiety. She was panicking prior to that party.
Exactly. Then she mentioned being unhappy during childhood.
An empty existence.
Exactly. Sure sounded like it too. So sad. Next, she expressed anger at her mom.
Well, the mom was acting more childlike, seeking approval, instead of really acting like an adult.
Yes, very irritating. But it made me very irritated, but it made Hannah irate. And I have a theory about that. I suspect Hannah acted that way too, always seeking her parents' approval, and she couldn't bear to be reminded of her own groveling.
Yeah, it could be.
And here's a big one, jealousy of the adorable younger sister.
Who gets the male attention? First the dad, and now the boyfriend.
While Hannah's left out and lonely. And the last feeling she mentioned was sadness about her older sister's death. Does anyone wonder why she went off the rails with her eating? She was totally flooded with painful feelings. But I kept thinking of how I might have said, Hannah, you put yourself in an unmanageable situation and then you expect yourself to manage.
Well, what could she have done differently?
Well, she was in therapy, so they would have been discussing this well in advance. Anytime you're going to an event like this, you prepare yourself for the surroundings, the location, the people who will be there, and most importantly, the feelings that will arise. How does it feel to be with your dad? How does it feel to be with your mom, your sister?
by talking about the feelings that would get stirred up, then she wouldn't be blindsided by old feelings.
Right. I would have had her write things down too. Then, when anxiety got the best of her, she could refer to her notes. Like, mom is always seeking dad's approval and turns to alcohol around 4 p.m. Dad is critical and limited in his parenting. He can only attend to one daughter.
Almost preparing herself with a checklist, mom doing her thing, and make her more of an observer than a victim.
That's right. She could also have limited her time at the party. That would be the most obvious way to not get totally overwhelmed. But most of all, Hannah needed a written game plan, a protection plan. That's what my patients and I call it, for stressful situations. Here's what I'll do before the event. Here's how long I'll stay. And here's what I'll do after the event.
Like playing calming music on the way home.
Visiting or calling a friend after the party for support. If none are available, journal, write down everything to discuss during your next therapy session.
Have the shoes by the door ready for a walk when you get home.
Comforting bedtime routine, bath, lavender oil in the diffuser.
Read a book. Listen to one of those healing frequencies.
Right. We all find ourselves in Hannah's shoes to some degree at times. I hope what we have discussed is helpful to our detectives if this ever happens to them.
Well, that's it for now. We hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give us a like, consider subscribing, hitting the bell so you'll be notified. There's many more stories like Hannah's to come. And remember,
Keep searching for clues.